everyone. Welcome to MindSET number 3.0.
Series 3. Yay!
My name is Virginia.
I'm Barbara.
Here you can learn tips and tricks so you can learn how to regulate your emotions. MindSET is developed by the MindSET team, the staff at Body and Soul Charity, and us. People with lived experience with mental health.
Yeah.
We know what works and what doesn't.
We definitely do.
Yeah. So first of all, let's introduce our resident therapist. He's a DBT specialist. He's had many years of experience working for the NHS, the private sector. Please welcome Mr. Darryl.
Say hello, Darryl.
Hello, Darryl. Hi, everybody.
So those of you at home, you might be wondering if MindSET is for you. You might be watching this and thinking, am I in the right place? It's really going to help me. To that end, Darryl's going to ask all of us some questions that will really help us check that, and see where we're at. Virginia's going to live scribe some of the words that come up to give us a visual as well. Over to you for those questions, Darryl.
Okay, so what we're going to do for the next little while is just going to make sure or just check that you are actually in the right place, so to speak, or that what we're going to do over the next few weeks can actually help you. So in terms of doing that, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. So mostly the questions are going to be yes or no, and I want you to keep count of your yes answers, and then I'll tell you what we want. So everybody here, what I want to know is about your common or usual experiences, really, and I'm not talking about what you've been experiencing in the last 6 weeks or even the last 6 months. Yeah, I want you to go back to maybe earlier teenage, maybe around go from maybe 15, 16, something like that. And the questions I'm going to ask you they're going to be yes or no, but I want you to think about them in terms of 51% yes and 49% no. Just go with the yes. And the trick of this is really not to think too hard about these questions. Yeah. So here go the questions. So do you sometimes feel empty or dead inside? Do your moods go up and down all day long? Not all day long, but do your moods go up and down without you knowing the cause for the up and down? Do you ever feel like you lose track of time? And when I say lose track of time, I'm not talking about hours necessarily, but seconds and minutes. Do you lose track of minutes? You might shake your head and go, well, what was I doing again? What was I doing again? So seconds and minutes, and some of you might get this in hours. And if you get it in hours, then the answer is also yes. I also want you to think about when you're particularly stressed out, when you've got lots of things to do that day, more than usual, overwhelmed. Do you notice that maybe when you're particularly stressed out, you question people's intentions? Yeah, even people Yeah, you question people's intentions. You wonder if you get a little. Yeah, so you might question their intentions, or upper level. You might become suspicious of people. Yeah, and then upper level again, where you feel sort of a bit paranoid around people, like someone's going to hurt you, but you don't know how or where. Are you a jumpy or skittish person? Do you jump easily? If you catch something out of the corner of your eye, do you ever feel like someone's touched you and you're like, oh, what was that? Are you a perfectionist? Yeah. Do you find that you just always thinking about doing things absolutely right? And when you don't do, and when you miss that standard, you judge yourself. Do you have these kind of thoughts that you're stupid, that you're useless, maybe that you're worthless, a waste of space, a burden? Do you regularly have those kind of thoughts? Do you have those kind of thoughts that get faster? Do you have those kind of thoughts that get louder? Do you have those kind of thoughts that get both? Do you sometimes miss not eat breakfast and not eat lunch because you didn't notice you were hungry? Do you sometimes eat a lot in the evenings? Do you feel impulsive? Do you often do things without thinking? Do you have a fear You know, do you have a fear of being alone? Or do you notice that you want to spend a lot of time around other people? Do you sometimes feel like you're not real? Like maybe you're a character in a movie, or do you sometimes feel like you've zoned out of something and you're watching something around you happening, but you don't feel part of it? Do you ever have burning sensations in your body? Like maybe your face gets really hot, or maybe it's just your ears, or maybe you get a burning sensation in your chest, yeah, or in your hands. Do you sometimes wish that you weren't here, that you just weren't around? Do you sometimes think about killing yourself? Do you sometimes, feel an urge to tell someone what you really think of them and do it and then regret it later on? You know, and I mean, when they say regret it in a big way later on. Do you worry excessively? If you're in a relationship, do you worry excessively about that person leaving you? Yeah, so much so that you might beg them to stay. Yeah. Do you have a special talent for picking partners that treat you poorly? Or do you always seem to end up with people that do treat you poorly? Were you bullied at school? Do you know if you were happy? If you were happy, would you know what that felt like? Or is your answer an absence of sadness or an absence of something? Are you sometimes, do you over apologize? Do you find that you say sorry a lot to people? Do you find that sometimes you apologize a lot and at other times you're just going to do whatever you want to do without thought of the consequences? You just start shouting and screaming at people. Have you ever self-harmed? Have you ever had thoughts of self-harming? Have you been to see a GP and he's given you medication and it just doesn't work at all? Have you seen a mental health professional or seen mental health professionals and they've given you lots of different, 3 or 4 different reasons of what it could be? Have you been told that you've got depression and anxiety? Do you never really sleep that well? Or more importantly, do you ever wake up and not feel refreshed? So they're the kind of questions and they're the kind of people that that this is really going to help. But what we're really looking for is when you look down at your answers, your yes and your no's, if you answered yes to more than 4 or 5 of those, then you are probably in the right place.
Well, I just want to say, like, just one thing, to that, which is that, those of you that were looking at the cloud, or if you were, writing down a lot of yeses like me, then you might think that it's quite a lot and it might feel a bit overwhelming. But what we're going to do in this series is we're going to unpick some of that stuff as we go, yeah, to help you, deal with those things. So just wanted to say that, yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about over the weeks comes from DBT, or dialectical behavior therapy, and what I just talked about there were the common experiences of people that might benefit or use DBT for. None of those experiences are generally that much fun, and so what we're going to do over this time is look to help people, or put them at least on the path to not having those experiences so much.
So we wanted to tell you that MindSET isn't just a live stream. It's a multimedia resource and it spreads out throughout the week. And so be sure to check out our Instagram bio, which is a campsite link, and it has all the resources that we have made for you.
And you can also email us any questions that you have, any burning questions or not so burning questions. Yes, we want to hear from you. So to email us, you can do that at MindSET at bodyandsoulcharity.org.
And we want to inform all viewers that this is not crisis support. So if you find yourself struggling and unable to keep yourself safe for the next 24 hours, please go to your nearest A&E department to find help. Or if you're at university, contact your university crisis team. And you can also call the Samaritans on 116-123.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you later in the week. In the meantime,
Keep working on your mindset.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.